Traveler, Paimon, it's been a long time.
Oh, hey, Hoishin! Long time no see! Fancy meeting you here. How's work these days?
Thanks to the help of people like you and colleagues like Ganyu, better all the time. But I've been feeling distracted. It's a long story. But my father, he's thinking of stepping down from the Tianshu position due to health issues.
Huh? What's wrong with Uncle Tian?
Nothing specifically. He's not unwell. He says he's just increasingly low on energy these days. He's always said, old age comes for us all in the end. Anyway, my father's currently on the second floor of Yangsheng Tea House. Why don't you come back? He seems very fond of you, too. I'm sure chatting with you.
Sure, let's go. Uncle Tian, we're here to chat with you.
Oh? What a lovely surprise. Welcome. Hoishin, why don't you go downstairs and get the shopkeeper to make us a fresh pot of tea? I heard that you've been traveling all... Hoishin told you, didn't she? Don't worry. I'm quite all right. It's just the years gradually catching up with me. As I grow older, I'm starting to find that with many things, though the mind is willing, the flesh is weak. Especially recently, I've noticed a rather drastic drop in my energy level. I am still very much in good standing as the Tianshu today. Nevertheless, I wish to pass.
How difficult is it to transfer the Tianshu position?
Oh, well, you see, the Tianshu is a rather unique, historically speaking. We also want to keep any prospective Tianshu candidates. For these reasons, the incumbent Tianshu typically recommends their candidate of choice, and this is then approved by the other Qixing members.
So in other words, you pick someone, and then Lady Keqing, Lady Ningguang, and the other Qixing appoint them?
Correct. Unfortunately, due to my health, I won't be able to assess every candidate. Not to despair, however, because I found someone exceptionally capable to act on my behalf as assessment officer. In fact...
Oh? Who is it?
I'm heartbroken. I thought it might take you a little longer than this to forget all about me.
It's Yeon!
Jackpot. Uncle Tian here asked me to assess 3 candidates for him. Fancy joining me? You'll be among the first to get to know the next Tian.
What do you think? Paimon thinks so too. It can't be a bad thing to be on good terms with...
All right then. Though, I gotta say, Uncle Tian, you say you're into...
Huh?
I'm not opposed to the idea, so how about this? If...
Deal. Well, you guys take your... Meet me on the first floor when you're ready. Until then, have a pleasant conversation. Oh, and no need to pay for your tea. As the new owner of this one... You're all set?
Uncle Tian? seems really worn down. It's like all his energy's gone.
Yeah, it may sound harsh, but Uncle Tien is past his prime. He's not cut out for this anymore. So he's recommended 3 candidates. Their names are Qinwei, Mingbo, and Zhi. Qinwei is a wealthy entrepreneur. Mingbo works at the Liuwei Min. Try to keep all that in mind. Of course, it doesn't really matter if you forget, since we'll be assessing them at Yuehai Pavilion in a short while.
Qianwei, Mingbo, Zhi. Paimon.
Let's leave that until we get to Yuehai Pavilion. All right. Heads in the game, people. The stakes don't get much higher than a change in the Qixing. We can't afford to miss anything, no matter how small.
Got it. We'll keep our eyes wide open.
My legs are getting sore. What is wrong with this assessment officer? This is a huge occasion and I don't even get a chair. I've dealt with all kinds of people in my time, but never have I been made to stand while I'm waiting for an appointment.
I think it's fine.
That's called being complacent. If you're happy to just accept the way things are,
Oh, come on. That's just...
All right, you two. Let Qianwei, that was a bit uncalled for. And Mingbo, cut him some slack. We've all been Look, how about this? There's no rule saying we're-
fine. They're not the best
It looks like all 3 candidates have arrived. We'll meet them formally soon. Before that, I've split it into 2 stages. Current affairs and planning, and face-to-face interview. In the first stage, candidates are required to submit a manifesto for Liyue's development. In the second stage, we will ask them some questions in person. Writing a manifesto takes time, so I informed them of this requirement in advance. These are the reports they submitted.
Wow, one of them is really thick.
It's also worth mentioning a stipulation I gave them. Whoever is appointed as the new Tianshu will be expected to implement their plan as put forward in their manifesto. Failing the occurrence of some cataclysmic event, they will not be permitted to change their plan. Therefore, these 3 piles of documents in front of us represent where each candidate stands on key policy issues. There's still some time. Have a skim through, get a first impression of what each person's proposing. I'll be waiting off to the side. Just let me know when you're done. Finished, huh? What did you...
Everyone took it very serious.
Of course they did. They have the chance to be picked as the new Tianshu, so you can bet they're putting their best foot forward. And keep in mind, whoever gets in has to execute their plan as written. That's for me to know and you to find out. We can talk more after the interviews. We'll see the candidates now. Let's do one at a time. Start with Chenwei.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh? So you 2 are the assessment officers, are you? I had assumed that given the great import of this situation, Lady Ningguang would perhaps be assessing us in person. I certainly hadn't imagined I'd be seeing 2 entirely unfamiliar faces. I trust you've read through my manifesto? I'd be more than happy to clarify any details you found difficult.
Mind your tone, mister.
Relax. It wasn't intended as a personal slight against anyone in particular. I was simply stating a fact. Cloud Retainer? You know this Adeptus? With your sterling reputation, you must have a respectable level of erudition. Perhaps you will be able to understand the concepts I have put forward.
Oh, is it my turn?
Yes. Please.
I'm, Mingbo. I work in the Ministry of Civil Affairs. I've worked there for, 9 years, 5 months, and 3 days. In that time, I've handled, 2,347 cases. I have 12 active cases at the moment. They should be concluded in, 16 days? My current work is related to urban planning, and I'm also responsible for, auditing the accounts. To be more precise, there are 3 parts to the accounts, namely...
Is it just Paimon, or is he not very good at public speaking?
You know what? Let's leave the self-introduction there and move on to some questions.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Hello. Not gonna lie, I'm feeling a little nervous. What would you like to know? You're here to assess me, so ask away and I'll answer your questions to the best of my ability.
Your manifesto is very wide in its scope, but you don't seem to be personally involved in many of the specific fields. How can you be sure that you have the ability to put your plan into action?
Very fair question. I completely understand where you're coming from. But I'm confident in my plan. I've visited many different places, talked to lots of people with far more expertise than myself, and my manifesto is the conclusion of these efforts. Of course, two different problems can be interconnected in very complicated ways, and you might reach two very contradictory conclusions depending on which one you're focusing on. What I've tried to do is strike a balance. In other words, present.
How do you plan to determine whether you are right or wrong about your proposed solution being the optimal one?
A great question. Well, if it turned out that my judgment was to blame for poor results, I would take responsibility.
Nice answer. All right, next question.
He seems like a great guy. Everything he said was thoughtful and logical, and he was just a pleasure.
Here's my take on what we just learned. As you saw, Qianwei is highly knowledgeable. He proposes many excellent ideas in his manifesto, but he is very proud and incredibly stubborn. He doesn't care much about other. Mingboa's plan is more thorough and more measured. But he and Qianwei are otherwise polar opposites. Mingboa's not.
Perfect summary. Paimon couldn't.
Last but not least, Zhi. His manifesto is full of pertinent details. The depth he goes into in each and every area means it can only be a product of painstaking work. But what really interests me is that.
Great.
We'll see.
I see. Then it's more or less as I intended.
All right, then let me ask this. The ideas in Zhi's.
Oh, I didn't want to say those three candidates have all, but Qianwei went on.
Whoa. So how did you get?
Qianwei was referred to me by. We first met while fishing. Zhi came from a poor family. He reminded me of a younger version of myself. So I started out giving him a few words of advice when we were out fishing, and quite. And now, all of the young are growing up, and I am growing old.
I don't know, Uncle Tian. You still seem in pretty good shape to me.
Oh, you. There's really no need to console me. Having less energy than I used to isn't such a bad thing. It just means I finally have a good reason to retire and spend my days doing what old men like me should be.
Sounds like you sure.
Ooh, there's nothing quite like fishing to...
Fresh fish soup.
Doesn't it? Also, when we've been fishing recently, Jirio, that flavor makes for a fond memory. But it...
Oh, can Paimon come next time too? Paimon really wants.
Let's get back to the matter at hand.
I appointed you as the assessment officer. Had you not asked me why Juri's ideas were so similar to mine, I was not going to mention my history with any of them. This decision must be guided by what is fair and right. Please disregard all other considerations and make your final decision only after a thorough review of each candidate's talents and capabilities. Remember, you must be thorough.
Understood. Come on, let's go talk somewhere else.
Look after yourself. So, it's gonna be Jerry, right? His manifesto was written well, and he's the best speaker.
Easy. Let's not rush. There's no time limit for this assessment.
Huh? So, are you gonna give them more tests or something?
No, nothing like that. The assessment itself is complete. But let me give you a word of advice. Things are not always as they appear. The biggest no-no in intelligence work is to only get information from the person of interest themselves. The truth is almost always hidden beneath many layers of deception. You have to get information through many different channels. For example, Wenyuan, Shanghua.
Yes?
Lady Yelan, what are your orders?
Ugh! Who are they? Where did they come from?
Did they scare you? These two are Wenyuan and Shanghua. They work for me. As my trusted assistants, they are always standing guard nearby. They also perform various assignments as required. Shanghua is a business expert who gets his information by trading. Wenyuan relies on word of mouth. And there's also Upei, who's not here right now.
That meathead must have been out there on sea surveillance for some time now. Is he all right? I seem to remember that he can't swim.
Nothing can take that guy down. Certainly not a little wind and waves.
Shanghua, visit all the commerce guilds and look into Qianwei's background. Wenyuan, go to the Ministry of Civil Affairs and look through Mingbo's work files.
Yes, ma'am.
So what about Juri?
Juri, well, obviously as the most promising candidate, we will be investigating him ourselves. Let's go to the docks first. Lots of people passing through there. You can find out all kinds of things.
If we're looking for information, why don't we try talking to Bulai, the owner of Wanyu Boutique? He does business at the North Wharf. Maybe he has some news for us.
That's actually not a bad idea. Let's go and ask him.
Boring! Isn't there anything else more interesting to do?
Huh? What's Bulai doing here today?
Look, your asking price for this batch is just too high. I can't buy in at this price. How am I supposed—
Come on, hear me out. I'm telling you, this is the single best batch of Sunsettias ever. You won't find anyone who disputes that. I accidentally dropped one into a well, and even the water turned sweet.
Even so.
All right. I'll let you in on a little secret. The boss of Second Life also wants to buy from me, but I haven't responded yet. If you won't take him, I'll just have to partner with them instead, and neither of us wants that.
Okay, well, when you put it that way, I'll accept your asking price. I'll take all your stock. Don't sell a single one to Second Life. Oh, what are you doing here? And to be clear, these Sunsettias are mine. I got to them first. Don't get any ideas.
Actually, we want to ask you about a guy called Juri.
Juri? Yeah, I've heard a story about him. They say he was born into poverty. One of his neighbors was terribly rude to him all the time. But Juri never retaliated. He returned cruelty with kindness. Injustice with
Oh, he sounds like a decent man.
Why are you asking about him anyway? You aren't. Well then, in that case, the higher bidder takes the...
Where? Where?
It's him, all right. Looks like he's chatting with Linlong. Come on, try not to let him see you. We want this information to be as truthful as...
I'll just go and fetch an employment contract. And hey, don't try and cut me out of this. Hey!
I understand. Let's walk and talk. So, you were looking to buy a wineware set? Oh, now I can see that you're a connoisseur, so I won't bother trying to con you. I trust you understand our shop quite well?
What's the hurry? Don't get too close, or he'll see you. Try not to let him see you. We want...
I understand. Let's walk and talk.
What's the hurry? Don't get too close, or he'll see you. Try not to let him...
I understand. Let's walk and talk.
My friend,
So, you were looking to buy a wineware set? Oh, now I can see that you're a connoisseur, so I won't bother trying to con you. I trust you understand our shop quite well?
The truth is, an old friend of mine, who likes to have a drink now and then, he fancies himself as a man of culture, but doesn't care for needless extravagance. So I thought I might buy him a set of high-quality fakes.
How very thoughtful of you. Leave it to me, then. Come and collect it at Shigu Antiques whenever is convenient.
Thank you very much, Miss Linlong.
It's my pleasure, Mr. Juri. These days, it's quite rare for someone of your standing to still keep up with their old friends. It's nice to see. I'll be sure to pick out a good set for you. You can count on me. Juri seems to get along really well with... Are you satisfied now, Yelan? Seems like everyone thinks...
We shouldn't jump to conclusions just yet. Let's...
Do we have to? Wait, you're not just trying to dig up some dirt on Juri.
Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. But hey, if I do become Tianshu, I'll look out for you guys. You'll be able to try all the finest food for...
We will? Well, come...
What should I try this time?
The wharf is as busy as ever. I hear the anglers here sometimes sell their fish to the nearby fishmongers.
Welcome. What would you like to buy today?
Sorry to interrupt. We're actually members. We've heard about this young man called Jur-E who's supposed to be a fantastic fisherman. Just wondering.
Whoa! Yeon made up a whole fake identity without batting an eyelid.
Ah, yes, Juri. He's been making quite a name for himself recently. I've got some friends who travel all over the place, and they tell me everywhere they... Apparently, he had a rather tough time growing up. Had to work several jobs alongside his study. How does that saying go? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Well, if there's anything to that...
Yeah, we think so too.
But I'm afraid your Anglers Association might be in for a disappointment.
Oh? Why's that?
He's good at a lot of things, but fishing isn't one of them. He fishes at the wharf and sells what he catches to me on occasion. His catches are always mediocre. Not terrible, but equally nothing to write home about. If you're looking to recruit some new members, though, I do know a few top anglers I could put you in touch with.
That sounds fantastic. I've got a couple of other things to attend to right now, though, so why don't I come back some other time and we can chat over a drink?
Sure thing. See you.
Everywhere they go, they meet someone who's heard of him. Come on, let's keep asking around.
Tell me, will I find the right girl?
Here to buy some fish? It's 300 for one or 3 for 1,000. You better hurry when they're gone.
Hello, we're from the Society...
Wow, she switched identity again.
Society for Fish Price Research. I haven't done anything illegal. Stay up.
Please, don't worry. We've heard about a certain...
So this isn't... I haven't heard anything about himself.
Oh?
Because he's so poor. His parents died when he was he was still a kid when he first came to the wharf. His clothes... He managed to survive, thanks to Uncle Tien, who gave him... I mean, he can afford to eat. It's not like he catches much anyway, so it's not going to affect my business.
You'd rather he didn't know?
Well, I spoke to him once, briefly, and I just had a feel... I think he has pretty low self-esteem. But hey, nobody's perfect. I just...
I see. Well...
Not a problem. And...
The more times you say it, the less convincing.
Doesn't have a...
Hey, it's you guys! Wait, what's the phrase? What brings you to me?
The truth is, we are but newcomers to this...
Really?
But of course, we also heard that...
Great! So what do you wish to...
Now she's lying to a kid.
So, Master Dugu...
Sure have. You mean that guy that all the I've heard many tales of jury, probably 'cause it's nothing that important.
Oh, I can completely understand that. Then let me ask you this.
Oh yeah, I know that. It was about 2 or 3. Before that, people always used to talk about jury in a kind of nasty tone of voice. But 2 or 3 months, sometimes he gives me candies. So I'm glad that people are starting to like him now.
Just as I thought.
Huh?
I mean, just as I thought, Master Dugu is...
I'm not... Oh yeah, one other thing. These days, there's a lot of people I've known.
Oh, definitely.
Great. So next time I see them, I'll say hi.
Certainly. You can also tell my friend and
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Well then.
Until we meet again.
Any of that sound strange to you?
Strange? Well, Jiri seems to have a great reputation. Uncle Soon and Uncle...
True. But the issue is, where did his sudden celebrity come from?
Sudden? Too good to be true?
So he returns cruelty with kindness, and had to work to support his studies. These are the kinds of things that make someone well known in their hometown. But Uncle Soon said even his friends who travel far and wide hear about. Do you remember what Dugu Shuo said about Juri's stories? Clearly they left him with a good impression of the guy. But beyond that, he wasn't interested in. Plus, there's the fact that all this praise of Juri has only been happening within the last 2 or 3 months. His childhood, his studies, the thing with his neighbor. None of these are recent events. So why are these...
When you put it like that, it is...
Of course, if that's all there was to it, I wouldn't look into it any further. Juri was born into a poor family. Paying people to get his stories out there. The problem is, do you remember what Uncle Gao said about him? He's stayed poor his whole life. Everything he's earned he's either spent on studying, traveling, or paying off debts. I don't think he has the mora to pay for a... Right. And that changes everything. It can mean that's the worst case scenario. But all too often, the most pessimistic
Someone's trying to gain influence over the Qixing? That sounds... Even if we asked Jiri about it...
First, we need to find out who's supporting him. Don't worry. Remember the current affairs and planning state? Whoever is secretly helping Juri. Come on. Juri's manifesto covers a huge range of topics. I'll divide the reports into 2 piles. Officially, the assessment is already over.
Yikes!
Whatever else Uncle Tian might think of Juri, the fact remains that any evidence he's left is not going to be immediately obvious.
Even though Yelan took half, this is still a lot. Well... Oh, this reading is giving Paimon a headache. Let's take a break.
Looks like I'm the first one back, as you...
Oh, hey! It's one of Yelan's little helpers, Shanghua! If you're back, that means...
You betcha. I visited all the commerce guilds and gathered a wealth of information.
Don't drag this out. Just tell us your—
Yes, Lady Yelan. To summarize my findings, most people who've had interactions with Qianwei will start out complaining. The young master of the Feiyun Commerce Guild said that Qianwei appears arrogant, but once he signs a contract with somebody, he treats them fairly regardless of their background.
Who'd have thought?
Is it possible that his reputation—
In theory, that should be very difficult. But here's the thing. Where he buys from and Qianwei often sees, it's like he wants people to—
What a strange guy.
to validate his theory?
I'm back! Huh? Why do you think? You— Lady Yelan, I have finished
Well,
the Ministry of Civil Affairs, but after a few days—
in your opinion, was the—
I don't believe so. According to Miss Yu— Oh, and also—
Whoa. That.
Like I said before.
So that.
Thank you both. You're free to go now. So, have you finished— I can't see any immediate— The only one that strikes me as a little unusual is that Jiangshu Pool has always been home to— At some point, a rumor began a long time ago, with the—
So, did they find any
None. The ruin was complete. The technology wasn't mature enough at that time, so the excavate— Zhi-Yi's manifesto focuses on solving problems. Still, this one—
excavation? Project? Treasure? Oh yeah! Juri said—
Did he now? Well, that makes everything much
Does that mean the Blackcliff Forge is—
No, not likely. I've looked— They do possess some specialized explosives, but it would— Still, since the clues are pointing toward the Blackcliff—
Shenwei and Mingbo both turned out to be completely different. What about Juri? Is there another side to him too?
This is the Blackcliff Forge. Let's look around for clues.
What's this?
From the back, it looks like a ledger. But it seems they also use— We don't know who wrote it, but it's interesting, don't you think?
You think they're suspicious?
Yes. Look, it says right there, one of them's— At this rate, by the time the Qingshu Pool redevelopment plan is ready, that'll give them the chance to take a lot of liberties. They can copy any secret— Imagine if we didn't suspect anything. By the time Zhi-Yi recommends the Blackcliff Forge for the excavation, no red flags if all they did was change some key staff. And even if we decided— That's the advantage of planning this far in advance. It was a clever move.
When you put it like that, it all makes sense. So, who's really behind all this?
That's a question for the newcomers. But let's start with that worker over there for now.
Excuse us. We want to ask you—
You want them to teach you? I gotta say, these newcomers are in tip-top shape. Fast learners, too. My only complaint is that they're always going out drinking at night. But they never let us. I guess they just need some time to adjust. I'm sure.
They go out drinking. This area isn't exactly renowned for the nightlife. I'm guessing—
You got that right. They tell me they go all the way back to— It rained after work today, so they actually stuck around at the site for a while. But as soon as the rain stopped, they went out drinking. Hey, you're only young once, right? I say, if they can hack it, let them out.
Interesting. Let's go talk— Looks like our hunch was on the Mora. These newcomers are very drinking in Liyue Harbor, huh? Some cover story. I'll wager they've— Good thing it rained today. It means they'll leave footprints. I doubt they'd give themselves away that easily, but let's follow them and try our luck.
harbor. Maybe we were wrong about them.
Just as I thought. They didn't go to Liyue Harbor. They went that way. The footprints stop here, but, judging from the direction, I'm guessing their destination was that abandoned. Looks like we were too late. This has gotta be where the newcomers rendezvous with whoever they're working for. But look at these ashes. Someone was burning documents not long before we arrived.
Could there be anything left? Maybe the wind could have blown the fire out before
The odds of that are very slim. It's practically impossible.
Why don't we wait for them back at the Black Cliff Forge? They've gotta go back there sooner or later.
We can't count on that. Clearly they were based here at one point, but it's mysteriously abandoned. To me, that says that whoever's behind this has moved them somewhere else to throw our investigation.
Darn! Guess this is where
Make no mistake, the purpose of our trip wasn't to find any solid evidence. We just need to figure out who's behind Jur-E. I smelled something peculiar the moment I came in. Those newcomers probably thought they'd be safe as long as they burned the letters. But what they failed to consider is that paper and ink from different regions produce different odors.
Really? Paimon can't smell anything. Do you smell anything?
There is a certain place with a freezing cold climate where there's nothing but ice. Some wealthy people there put floral fragrance in their ink as a way of injecting a little romance into their right. When that fragrant ink is burned, this is the exact odor that it leaves behind. Exactly. The evidence will soon be blown away by the wind, so it's nothing, but it's all I need. Now I know who we're dealing with.
Lady Yelan! Oh, thank goodness I finally found you. I thought I'd never see you.
Don't be alarmed. This is Upei. He's when I sent him to look into Jur-E's regular contacts. I left him a note at Yanshang Tea House telling him to look for me at Black Cliff. So, what did you find out at sea?
Forgive my incompetence. I'm afraid I've come up empty-handed. I asked all the fishermen multiple times, but none of them had any interactions with Jur-E before. Then the waves got so choppy I ended up falling over. When I got back, I heard that you'd gone to Black Cliff Forge and might need backup, so I went straight there as fast as I could. Didn't even stop to change my clothes.
Well, Uncle Tien said that Jur-E once bought a...
What? That's news to me? No, that's not possible. It's absolutely not possible. Lady Yelan, I'm telling you.
Interesting. Then I wonder how that even more wonderful fish...
Fish soup?
Nothing. Our priority right now is to find a way to get our hands on some solid... Well, any suggestions? Not a bad idea. Upei, what do you think?
Honestly, I've already tried following Jur-E, but the guy's too cautious. Never meets with anyone suspicious.
Okay, so tailing's out.
No, we'll still need to tail him. But first, we need to do some groundwork.
Groundwork?
When you've worked in intelligence for a long time, you'll understand that no one can stay on high alert forever. Especially when he thinks he's about to win. Tomorrow morning, I'll announce his victory at Yuehai Pavilion. Take a guess what you think he'll do next. Be sure to arrive on time. It looks like we're all here. Well then, time for me to announce. I won't drone on about the importance of the Tianshu role. Suffice to say that Uncle Tien entrusted me with the monument.
All of us here know the score. Don't beat around the bush. Just get on.
Qianwei has many pioneering ideas. Mingbo is reliable, but not quite ambitious enough. In contrast, Zhi is evenly balanced across the board and enjoyed after much consideration. I have decided to recommend
What?
Thank you. Honestly, I'm a little surprised to hear my name being announced. In my estimation, all three of us are worthy candidates for the Tianshu position. As your competitor, would either of you entertain the possibility of working with me in the future and taking on some of my workload?
I'll have to see. I'm in a bad mood.
I don't mind. As long as I...
Okay, well, that's all from me. Zhi, you'll have some preparation to do. It won't be long before you're informed of your official appointment. I hope you will work hard and make
I will live up to the Tianshu name. On this, you have my I should go. I need to pack my things, and then I think a celebratory meal is in order. Would anyone like to join me?
Count me out. I'm not in the mood.
Zhi seems pretty relaxed now. This would be a good time to follow him.
Hey, traveler, tell me something. What exactly does that guy have that I don't? If you can't answer that, I'm not accepting this result.
Also...
Oh no, if we get stuck here, we won't be able to leave!
Follow him.
Yes, ma'am.
We finally got rid of them.
Lady Yelan, Zhi has gone towards Feiyun Slope.
Follow him, quickly.
So Zhi really sided with the Fatui? But Uncle Tien thinks so highly of him. Why would he do this?
Difficult to say, but...
sorry, Lady Yelan. We lost him. He's too good at this. We weren't able to keep following him without being seen.
How the heck did he manage to shake Yelan's subordinates? I guess Juri didn't let his guard down. Still as vigilant as ever.
No, Upe says he's much more relaxed than usual. Maybe it's just how he's wired. Perceptive enough to sense when he's being watched.
But how?
Don't blame yourselves. Let's not forget he was trained by Uncle Tien himself. Evading detection is not an unusual skill for him to have. If I'd asked you to tail Uncle Tien, you'd have ended up at a dead end too. It's fine. So, where did you lose him?
Shinue Kiosk. He only went in briefly. Upe and I were watching outside the whole time. A few moments later, a man dressed in a completely different outfit came out. Upe had a feeling that it was him, but we couldn't get close enough to check without blowing our cover. I figured that if we spooked him, it would undo what we've accomplished today so far. Another option would have been to arrest him there and then, but without any evidence, that would have been meaningless. So I stopped Upe, and I stayed here to wait for you while that meathead went to ask around in Shinue Kiosk.
Good work. The fish didn't take the bait, but that's okay. As long as he's still swimming around, we'll find a way to catch him eventually. The key is figuring out what he's trying to achieve. Let's go to Shinue Kiosk.
Could you explain to me how that works? A guy like him comes in, changes his whole outfit right under your nose, and you don't even ask him about it?
Our customers are free to dress however they please. What grounds would I have to question him?
Okay, fair enough, but didn't you think it was just a little bit strange?
Well, maybe I did, but it still doesn't give me the right to stop him.
Enough. Let's tone this down a little. I'll make this quick. Just one question. What did he buy while he was here?
Oh, he didn't buy anything. He just picked up a bottle of liquor that he ordered ages ago.
A bottle of liquor?
Yes, a very strong kind. Fiery, with a rich flavor. Not something the average customer would order. This gentleman ordered it in person from us a long time ago. He was only here today to pick it up.
Liquor and wineware. I see. Let's go.
Where to?
Shigu Antiques. Hey, Miss Linlong. Sorry to bother you. Zhi ordered a wanware set from you not long ago, right? We're friends of his. He's been telling us how impressed he is with the quality, considering how affordable it was. So we just had to come and take a look for our—
Sure. Which model are you looking for?
We don't really know a whole lot about wineware. Let's just go with Zhi's choice. Would you be able to show us the one he bought?
Juri picked up his set not long ago as a quality imitation of an antique wine. Just so you're aware, we don't have many of this model left in stock. And now that Mr. Juri has taken—
Don't worry. Price shouldn't be an issue. I'm sure we can work something.
For this set, the wine glasses are sold separately. Minimum per—
Okay. Thanks, Linlong.
Well, don't take too long. We could sell out.
This is turning into a real headache.
I'd just like to point out that we have the self-professed Grand Master of Fieldwork here to thank for being—
It's not like you did any better.
My specialty is information trading, okay? I don't have the physical agility. What's your excuse?
Fair point.
Yelan, so has the plan failed? Oh, if we can't figure out where Jerry went, there's not much we can do. But why was he buying liquor at Shinue Kiosk anyway? To celebrate?
If so, it's no ordinary.
What do you mean?
First of all, Jur-E isn't much of a drinker. On some level, he hates us. If he was just looking to celebrate by himself, he wouldn't spend his meager savings on an expensive bottle of alcohol. No, this is a victory feast. Whoever this person is clearly enjoys hard liquor and has a very high status. Hence, now where might we find Fatui who match that?
Fatui officials.
Have both locations surrounded. Take as many people as you need.
Lady Yelan, is it time for us to make our move?
Get with the program, would you? This is a covert surveillance operation, in which case, we don't need to change tack.
Great idea! So we—
But Lady Yelan, if we get caught—
I'm well aware, but don't you see? Stick to your orders, and make sure we're—
Yes, ma'am.
Don't worry, Lady Yelan.
I'll be waiting for you at the tea house. If I'm guessing correctly, Fatui officials are likely—
Strike a pose! Yoo-hoo! Shower me with praise! Yoo-hoo!
Perfect timing. Wenyuan just sent word that the Fatui ambassador, Yusupov, just left the embassy alone.
Qingshu Pool?
It looks like that's where they've arranged to meet. Qingshu Pool is always crawling with—
Oh no, we gotta go get them!
Let's go. If my hunch is— This is Qingshu Pool, full of ruins, crawling with monsters. Anyone with any sense steers well clear of this place. I've looked into the place before. There's a worker's entrance somewhere around here. Follow me. There's been some work done on this place in the past, but it's a bit of a labyrinth inside. The workers left an emergency access route. Still, be ready to fight at any moment. Any resistance needs to be taken out quickly and quietly.
Don't worry, we're all perfect. By the way, Yelan?
They have other things to take care of first.
Chivalry will never die.
Take it easy. Quietly now.
Oz, reveal thyself!
Busted. As I expected, but this shouldn't be too much trouble.
Ambassador here to meet Jiri? That must be the emergency access.
This is the construction workers' emergency access route, but it's closed tight. Trying to break through would be risky. Let's see if we can find another way.
Quake! Crumble! Solidify!
By royal decree!
Quietly now. Things are about to get dicey. Take it easy.
Oz, reveal thyself!
Quietly now.
The water's gone down. Hey, look.
Take it easy. Take it easy. Busted. Take it easy. Take it easy. Gotcha. Quietly now. Game's up. Fun's over. No! Really? Busted. Take it easy. Take it easy. Take it easy. Take it easy. The water's flowed into the groove, and now the statues have lit up. Okay, now we should be able to move the statues. Navigating the world is a whole lot easier with a few different identities to choose from. Need me to come up with some for you?
open. Let's go.
Take it easy. We should be nearly at the bottom now. Let's wrap this up. Quietly now. Take it easy.
By royal decree!
No, my sword! Witness the power of coba!
Here comes the catch. Things are about to get dicey.
I can tell from the aroma that this is very fine. Come on, bottoms up. After you.
Oh, sorry, that went down the wrong way.
You'll get there. If you want. You're more of a lightweight than I thought. Already strong. I thought you were made of sterner stuff. You certainly kept it together when you were poisoning your teacher's soup. Come on, another round. Less talk.
Sure. You didn't leave me much of a choice, though, did you? Just the mention of poisoning sends shivers down my spine. I'm more timid than you realize. Every time I poisoned him, I had to hide away at home for a few days because I was so scared of getting caught.
Look, I know it has not been easy for you, my friend. We appreciate, but I have to say, you really are quite a genius at poisoning people. I mean, the poison we brought from Snezhnaya is as strong as this wine, but you found a way to turn it into an imperceptible, slow-acting poison and came up with the idea of delivering it through fish soup. What was it you said? Oh, yeah. You said the soup's fishy flavor neutralizes the pungency of the poison.
It struck me one day when I was fishing. I'm lucky it did. Otherwise, I'm not sure I would have been able to fool Uncle Tien.
You have performed excellently. The Fatui will continue to provide the support you need to consolidate your position as Tien Shu. Of course, this is as long as you continue to do as... Aside from Qing Shu Pool, we also have some other requests for you, which we will inform you of in due course.
Don't worry. Whatever tasks you have for me, I will perform.
Did you hear that? It was poison! That's why Uncle T... What a nasty guy! Seize him!
Hold on. Did you bring the camera? If not, you can use mine. This is quite a scene. We have to capture it for posterity.
Excellent liquor. We've, seen no progress on the diplomatic, but soon, everything will be taken care of. I remember when I first saw you. I knew right away that you would make a good partner for us. Hey.
How could I forget? You said the only way is for you to shine bright in the Tien...
Yes. Under normal circumstances, the gap... Just look at your two competitors. Chen Wei had wealth. Ming Boa had reputation. And that's why I decided to help you. You know, there's an old saying in the Fatui. Give a starving dog a bone, and it'll guard your...
Yes. I cannot...
heck, when you're not in the company...
Uncle Gao said that Jur-E has low self-esteem. Seems he was worried that whatever advantage he might have now will diminish. Do you have any more film in the camera? Then get ready to use it. Tonight's grand finale. How well this goes for us.
Ooh, is there any more alcohol? Go on. Fill me up. I'm in a good...
There's only a little left. Here, I'll fill your glass. If you like it, I can bring you...
Whoa, this is the good stuff. Huh? Charlie, you...
You seem surprised, Mr. Yusupov.
How could...
How could I not? I've sacrificed years of my life studying and reflecting to prepare myself for this position. And in the end, I even had to poison my own. You really think I'd put myself through all that just to become your little puppet? I don't want to bet.
You imbecile. It's the Fatui who got you to where you are. Do you understand? If I disappear with no explanation...
Do you see the haystack in the corner? Underneath it is a pile of explosives. And next door in the dark room are the 3 undercover agents you sent to I'm gonna stay here till I see you slip into unconsciousness. Then I'm gonna set this on fire. Once the flames burn through the hay, they'll ignite the explosives. The ruins will collapse.
What?
I took the liberty of leaving some evidence of your contact with the undercover agents at the Black Cliff Forge. It won't take long for people to join the dots. 2 missing persons. The Fatui planted undercover agents in the Black Cliff Forge to steal their signature ruin-grade explosives. But things didn't quite go to plan. Faced with the overwhelming evidence, the embassy won't investigate. It explains why you acted alone, while exonerating the rest of the embassy of any liability. Of course, none of that will have anything to do with me. When all of this comes to my attention...
Shuri, do you really think you're gonna get away with this? The Fatui has a record of everything. That includes... After I die, they'll come looking, and they'll get to the bottom of this.
A record? Oh, you must mean the one in the hands of your...
How?
Because when you contacted me, I also made contact with your associates. I have Theophan to thank for providing me with the poison I used on you today. He'll help me tie up all the loose ends. After all, your untimely demise comes with a few perks for him. He has been eyeing your position for a long...
That traitor!
Shh. Relax. It's over. After tonight, everyone gets what they want. And anyone else in the know is either my accomplice. Sweet dreams, Miss...
I did a little surveying on the way here and found that you'd left yourself 3 escape routes in case things went south. I have them all surrounded. If you're thinking of trying anything, save yourself the effort. We were here the whole time and have pictures of everything.
The game's up? Forgive me, I'm not quite I happened to discover a Fatui operation here, so I approached them on the pretext of joining forces.
This is how you want to play it. Fine. You do you. All we need to do to convict you is establish that the poison in his system is the Nothing else you wanted to add? Let's leave it there then.
One wrong move and it all comes crashing down. You followed him here, didn't you? I was so focused on keeping myself out of sight, I forgot he was a potential liability. Let's talk about this, Yelan. I gave you my word that I would live up to the Tianshu name, and that much...
Your point...
When I take office, I can guarantee that I will act in your best interests. In fact, all of you here tonight can expect very generous... I don't deny that I used underhanded methods to get here. But given my lowly origins, what other choice did I have?
You still don't get it, do you? Even now. What do you think? Exactly. Jury. Clever people can always come up with a good excuse. But while you might be able to get there's nothing wrong with wanting to win other people's respect, but he was like a teacher and a father to you, but you chose to repay that.
That's enough.
Of course. What makes this even crueler is that you managed to convince yourself out of everyone in the world. He is the one who trusts you the most. So much that he drank.
That's enough!
Life is like fishing. It cannot be rushed. Whatever you do, impatience will accomplish nothing. I was just like you once, desperate to prove myself. Only later did I realize things do not always turn out the way you plan. But you have to keep calm to carry on. You're still young. Be patient, believe in yourself, and don't look outside yourself to prove your value. Where's Jury these days? It's been a long time since he last paid me a visit.
Maybe he's just busy.
Well, next time, if he doesn't bring a pot of piping hot fish soup, don't let him in.
Whatever you were thinking about, you'll have plenty of time to mull it over in prison. Oh, I almost forgot. If the Fatui find out what happened today, prison might not turn out to be the safest place for you. Trying to have friends on both sides, it has a way of turning everyone against you. But right now, I have an opportunity for you.
Huh?
Sorry, things are about to get extremely busy for me. Let's meet at Yenshang Tea House tomorrow morning. I'll have someone remove the explosives. Then, there's someone I have to go and see.
Need our help with that?
No, it could be dangerous. You should leave this one. Don't worry. As long as they're willing to co-op, get some rest.
Another test.
Pause, reveal by... Rain outlines your fate. Rain cutter.
Picked the wrong test subject.
Body and mind. Time to act. Body and mind.
There is now no poison left in his system. But recovery from the damage already done will not happen.
Dr. Baishu, is my...
You needn't worry too much. Keep taking the prescribed medicine every day, and a full recovery will take it. It's good we caught it in time.
A few days later, and the toxin would have built up in the internal organs. At that point...
How did they successfully secure such a seldom seen poison? It seems the Fatu. Unfortunately for them,
Uncle Tien will be heading off now. Remember to get plenty of rest and avoid overexerting yourself while you're recovering.
Don't worry, I will. Thank you very much. Ah, you're here too? Thank you for all you've done to resolve this situation. Yes, the exhaustion seems to...
Luckily, it looks like choosing the Tianshu's successor is suddenly not such a pressing issue after all.
Hey, Yelan!
My work is mostly wrapped up, so I thought I'd take a minute to check in here. The assessment process comes to an end here, Uncle Tien. In my opinion, Zhi is not suitable for the position, but...
You have my gratitude. People can change their loyalties easily. I've always known this.
Is it just Paimon, or is Uncle Tien not that surprised?
Don't underestimate Uncle Tien. He wouldn't have... Normally, the Yuehai Pavilion...
Yes, to be quite honest, I wanted to trust him unreservedly. When I first met Zhi, I wondered if he had approached me with a hidden agenda. So I concluded that he had no ulterior motives whatsoever. He just... In the end, even he changed. I never had any plans to recommend him directly, but I always intended to... I had no reputation to speak of when I first became Tianshu. I relied on Ganyu's assistance for all manner of...
I have to admit, he's a smart guy. The intel suggests that the Fatui saw... He chose that specific liquor from... He also installed a secret... Afterwards, we also...
But that's still real...
Yes. Had he drunk the poisonous wine, he still...
How is Zhi...
Well, I mean, he is sitting in a jail cell. Like Yanfei says, everyone who breaks the... Still, he's cooperating.
A deal?
Yes, Zhi's not the one I'm interested in. But once the Fatui became involved, things got a whole...
Well, did you...
Almost. Unfortunately...
Uncle Tien? Yelan? What are you talking about? Paimon doesn't under...
Zhi colluded with the Fatui to try and secure the position of Tianshu. Or, to put it the other way around, with Yusupov in our hands, and a statement from... Also, we'd be able to gain control of... Pawns like this can be major assets. They open up all sorts of new options. Why else did you think...
So...
We got halfway. But when we tried to make contact...
the Fatui must...
I found out from other sources, the Fatui's main forces... It's a pity that Theophan got...
I have to ask, Yelan. Do you have any desire to take... I remember you showed some interest a few days ago at Yenshang Tea House.
Oh, that. I prefer my current life. There's danger and there's... Although it'd still be a behind-the-scenes role. As Tianshu, I wouldn't have the chance to get involved in anything truly clandestine or face any... All right, I'm done here. Time for me to go. I'm heading off again in a few days and I still have to...
Where are you off to this time?
As you might have guessed. But I'm sure if you keep going as you are, getting yourselves involved in other people's business all the time, maybe I'll see you the next time danger beckons. Until then, keep your wits about you. A lot of people are watching you. If you have any more questions, just ask...
What?